I'm Lavonda with Keep It Moving Fitness, and this is Lunchtime Yoga. Today's practice, we're going to take it down quite a bit. Take it down low and slow today, low and slow practice today. The reason I decided to do a very grounded practice today is because of the way I woke up this morning. Where I am here in Prince George's County, Maryland, this morning I woke up to raging winds and rain, gale force winds, I'm sure. And so I woke up a little anxious. It seemed like the world was swirling around me, and it was a feeling of being out of control. The thing that I thought of most was my roof and that investment. Last year around this time, I bought a brand new roof, and all I could think as I was laying there listening to these winds whipping and roaring and the rain beating down was, oh my goodness, there goes my several $1,000 investment blowing in the wind. And so I woke up very anxious, and it occurred to me, even when you have time on your hands, as I do now, time to slow down and relax. It doesn't mean that we do, because a lot of us are still over functioning in this time. So we don't often take advantage of the time to slow down, just breathe, reflect, and reconnect. But also, just one little thing can throw a monkey wrench in that calm. So today, we're coming back to calm. Our practice will be almost exclusively on the mat. So we're going to go low and slow today in a very grounded practice where we get to breathe, reflect, and reconnect with ourselves. Okay, so I'm going to head back to the mat. All you need is a mat or a bare space of carpet, some comfortable clothes that you can move in, willing heart, open mind. And the way you position your mat today is going to be a little important. You want to make sure that you have room on both sides because we're going to be doing some lateral movement on the mat. All right, let's get started, guys. And you'll notice I have a little folded blanket here. And that is simply so that I allow my hips to come up just a little higher off the earth, which makes it a little more comfortable for my knees as I sit in Sukhasana here, easy seated pose. It also kind of eliminates that natural tilt to the pelvis that we tend to get when we come into this position. It allows me to be more conscious about sitting up nice and tall. So we're sitting up tall, our sits bones are in contact with the earth, our shoulders are relaxed away from our ears. We're just resting our palms on our knees. And to position your palms, you can choose. Often we have our palms down if you want to feel grounded. And I do today because I truly woke up thinking I was going to blow away, me and my house, just like the witch in The Wizard of Oz. Or was that Dorothy? But if you're feeling that you need to receive something today, then you can have your palms up. So once we placed our palms, again, we want to make sure our shoulders are pressed away from our ears. Our heart is reaching forward. We can soften our gaze or close our eyes, and let's just become aware of the breath. Inhaling and exhaling through the nose. Now let's deepen this breath. Nice deep inhalations. Sometimes it helps to count. 4 count inhale, 4 count exhale. And let's use this exhalation. With each exhalation, I want you to imagine releasing something that does not serve you in this moment. So I'm going to think about releasing my anxiety, as you exhale those unneeded thoughts or emotions, I want you to visualize that you see that actually leaving the body as a vapor. Draw the belly deep in towards the spine to help that negative energy on its way out. Relax your jaw. Let your tongue languish in the bottom of your mouth. Smooth your brow. Let your eyes rest easy in their sockets. Now that we've created some space by ridding ourselves of some of that negative energy, those negative emotions, let's decide what it is we want to bring in. Think of something positive and beautiful. Give it a color. And as you inhale, nice and slow and intentional, breathe in that positive thought. Three more deep breaths just like that, guys. Now let's let our eyelids flutter open, our breathing to return to its natural rhythm. And I'll just point out that really deep breathing, that wasn't me. That was my dog over in the corner. If you practiced with me before, you remember the sound of the snoring dog. Apparently the yoga calms her also. All right, so we're going to do one more bit of pranayama, and pranayama is just a breathing exercise. I want you to take your right hand. We're going to take our index finger and our thumb, just like that. We're going to close off our left nostril, allow our right nostril to stay open. Inhale through the right nostril, then close that, exhale through the left. Inhale through the right, exhale through the left. Continue to do that alternate nostril breathing. Don't worry about looking weird. Give me two more. And relax. All right, so on our next inhale, we're going to inhale those arms up overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. Let's turn the fingertips down, keeping those palms together, bringing the shoulders forward. Turn the fingertips back up. Inhale the arms up overhead. Exhale the hands back behind the bum. Tent those fingers. Shoulders back, heart forward. Inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. Turn those fingertips down. Turn the fingertips back up. Inhale, up above the crown. Exhale, arms back behind the bum. Tent the fingers. Pull the shoulders back. Heart forward. Let's do that one more time. Inhale up. Let those hands float behind the body. Pull those fingertips back. Heart forward. This time, let's inhale the arms up overhead. Leaving the arms up there, pull the shoulders down the back. Just reach the fingertips up. Now on our exhale, we're going to let those hands float down to the right side. Allow our heart to go in the same direction as the arms. Float down to the left on the next exhalation. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, float. Continue to flow with the breath and at your own pace. If you'd like to, soften your gaze or close your eyes. Just focus on the breath and the movement. Remember, we're taking this time to breathe, reflect, reconnect. Here we're reconnecting with the breath and the body. And notice, what sensations do you feel? Do you feel awareness through the back, through the shoulders, through the ribs? On our next inhale, we're going to wait right there with our arms reaching up towards the sky. And the next exhale, we fold forward, reaching your heart towards the earth, reaching the crown of your head forward. Inhale, upright once again. Let the hands rest on the thighs. All right, so now we're going to rotate through the center of the body. So take a nice deep inhale. Hinge to the right. As we start to exhale, we're going to round our heart forward. And as we round up to the left, we inhale. Exhale forward. Inhale as we round up and back. And this is all through the center of the body. You should feel it in the hips, perhaps through the back and waist. But notice that your head is just going along for the ride. So no movement through the neck. It's almost as if you're drawing circles with your nose. All right, let's pause at the top here. On our next inhale, we're going to hinge to the left this time. As we exhale, round forward. We're going to do the exact same thing, but going to the left this time. Let's do two more. And pause up top. Once again, ensuring that we're sitting up nice and tall. Our shoulders are floating away from our ears. Let's inhale our arms up overhead. Exhale, float those arms down to the right. Once again, we're flowing with this spinal twist from right to left. Now, the next time we float over to the right, let's pause there for a moment. Let the left hand rest easy to the outside of the right thigh. Bring that right hand back behind the bum. Plant that palm, fingertips pointing back. With each exhalation, let's shine our heart just a little more to the right. Continuing to breathe. We hold the asana, never the breath. With our next inhalation, heart rotates forward, fingertips reach up, and as we exhale, let's fold forward. Inhale upright. Let the hands rest on the knees. Pull the shoulders away from the ears. Let's inhale up once again, floating from right to left. The next time we touch down on the left side, now let's pause in that direction. Let's inhale forward, fingers reaching towards the sky. On our next exhalation, we're going to let this right hand float down to the side, fingertips pointing out. Now reach up through the entire side body of the left. Feel your ribs lift, feel your shoulder lift. And we're reaching those fingertips up. You should feel activation through the arms. Now let's soften this right elbow and let those fingertips float over towards the right. Continue to breathe here. Now let's pull that left shoulder back and gaze upwards. On our next exhalation, we're going to allow this left arm to sweep down and over and round back up. Rest the arms, the hands on the knees here. Once again, let's inhale those arms up overhead. This time, let's let the left hand float down to the side and reach up through that entire side body on the right. Let's soften that left elbow. Let those right fingertips float towards the right wall. The left wall. Now let's pull that right shoulder open and gaze up. On our next exhale, this right hand sweeps down to the left and across the front. And once again, we sit up nice and tall. All right. Let's release these legs. Stretch them out in front in staff. Toes are pointing towards the sky. And let's just shake them out. Let our hands rest either side of our thighs or our bum. Let's just shake them out. They were folded for quite a while. Let's point and flex the toes. And let's windshield wiper those feet from right to left. Let's once again find stillness with those toes pointing towards the sky. Now let's bring the soles of the feet together in bound angle pose. Listen to those knees lubricating. That's what they say the popping of the joints is. So the soles of the feet are together, the knees are falling out to the side. We're still sitting up nice and tall, resisting the urge to curve through that spine. Extend your heart forward, pull your shoulders down and back. Let your hands rest on your knees. Let's just languish here in this for just a moment. Focus on the breath. Perhaps you soften your gaze or close your eyes. Now here we want to use the breath once again. With each exhalation, allow it to open the hips just a little more. Allow the shoulders to float away from the ears just a little more. In those two areas, the shoulders and the hips, are two of the areas where a lot of our anxiety and our stress resides. It settles there. All right. Let's flutter our eyelids open if you closed your eyes. And extend those legs out in a wide V. Once again, toes are pointing towards the sky. We're sitting up nice and tall. Let's inhale our arms up overhead and exhale, cactus arms out nice and wide. Pull the shoulder blades back as if you're trying to wrap them around the spine. Even activate through the fingertips. Spread those hands out nice and wide. Extend your chest forward. Inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, fold forward, right down the center. Let your hands fall to the earth. We're reaching our heart towards the earth, and we're extending the crown of our head forward. Straight line from the crown of the head down to the bum. The fold is from the hips. You should feel tremendous activation through the hamstrings, the back of both legs. Keep those toes flexing towards the sky. With each exhalation, perhaps you find just a little more opening, a little more fold. And inhale upright once again. Let's inhale those arms up overhead. Exhale, elbows out nice and wide, cactus arms. On our next inhale, we reach the arms up overhead. This time, let's rotate towards that right leg and allow ourselves to fold forward over that right leg. Letting your hands come to rest on the earth, on the leg, wherever you choose. But we're extending our heart towards that thigh. We're extending our crown of the head towards that foot. Inhale, upright. Let's bring ourselves to center. Inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, the cactus arms out nice and wide once again. Inhale up, rotate our heart towards the left leg, and let's find that fold there. Let's give ourselves permission to take a bend to that knee if we need to. We're reminding ourselves to avoid rounding through the back. Fold from the hip, extend the heart to the thigh, extend the crown of the head towards that foot. Let's inhale upright. Allow our hands to come to either side of our bum. Bring those legs together once again in staff. All right, so from here, we're going to bring our hands back behind our bum. I'm just going to remove my blanket here because I don't need it at this moment. And if you're on a blanket or a block, go ahead and remove that. If you remove something from underneath you, then you have to once again find those sits bones. So our hands are back behind our bum with our fingertips pointing forward. Shoulders away from the ears and down. Pull the elbows back. From here, we're going to allow ourselves to recline back onto our forearms. So we're onto our forearms. Our elbows are stacked underneath our shoulders. Let's point those toes forward and flex. Point the toes forward and flex. Point the toes forward and flex. Now you listen to the sound of my voice, but you don't have to look at me. Just allow your head to fall back slightly so that you're gazing up towards the sky. Point those toes forward and lift the bum just a little bit. Lift the bum. As you're lifting the bum, stretching the chest upwards in fish pose. And allow the bum to float back down. All right, so I'm going to turn to the lengthwise of my mat. You stay right where you are. Presumably you're lengthwise. If not, get lengthwise. So I'm going to allow myself to float down. Let's float down and let our back come down to the mat. The entire length of our body is embracing the mat. From here, and here's why we needed a little space to the right and the left of ourselves. We're going to turn the palms up. They're still resting by our sides. But as we inhale, we're going to sweep the palms along the floor, up above the crown of our head. As we exhale, we're going to sweep them back down. As we inhale, it's almost like doing one half of a snow angel. You remember making snow angels. Actually, it's not too much of a distant memory for me because if I have time, whenever it snows, I still do them. Didn't get a chance this year, though. The next time those arms reach above the crown, let's pause right there, guys. Let those arms stay up above the crown. Once again, we're pointing and flexing those toes. Once again, find stillness through those feet. Let's sweep the arms back, close to the body, and turn those palms down. Bring the soles of your feet to the mat, hip distance apart. Make sure that the entire length of your spine from tailbone to the base of your skull is embracing the mat. Now let's windshield wiper those knees from right to left. Just a little movement. Continue to move those knees from right to left. Spread the arms out just a little ways from the body, just a little ways. Extend the sweep of your knees. Let's spread those arms out just a little more. Palms still embracing the earth. Extend the sweep of your knees. Perhaps your thighs start to come in contact with the mat. Let's extend those arms out from the shoulders. Straight out from the shoulders. Big arcs now, big arcs. The next time your thigh comes to rest on the right side, let's pause right there. Shoulders are still relaxing into the mat. Now, if it feels right in this moment, just turn your gaze towards that left shoulder. Allow yourself to soften your gaze or close your eyes and just focus on the breath. As we pause here and focus on the breath, let's invoke a little mantra. It's a common mantra we use in yoga practices. It's that ever popular I am. You fill in the blank. I am powerful. I am capable. Whatever you want to invoke in this moment. On our next inhale, we turn our gaze skyward. We bring our knees back up to the sky. And as we exhale, we allow the hips to float over to the left. Keep repeating your I am to yourself. If it feels right in this moment, let's turn our gaze towards that right shoulder. Continue to breathe nice and deep, guys. Giving that belly permission to balloon out. On our next inhale, we turn our gaze skyward. Bring those knees back up towards the sky. Let's extend the left leg the length of the mat. Bring the arms in close to the body. Bring the right leg in towards the body and take our hands, interlace our fingers, and embrace the shin. Now pull the upper arms in close to the rib cage. Make sure the shoulders are still rooted into the mat. As we pull that thigh towards the ribs, pulling that knee towards the shoulder. Perhaps you even move that leg a little to the right, to the side of the belly, and give yourself an opportunity to pull it even closer to that shoulder. Left leg is relaxing on the mat. Now let's release that right hand. Allow it to float, left hand, allow it to float out to the left side. And use that right hand to guide that right hip open. Ensuring that both shoulders, your spine, and that left leg stay in contact with the mat. Let's guide that leg back towards the center of the body. Left hand replaces the right. Allow the right arm to float out to the side from the shoulder. And now let's draw that leg across the body. Tremendous awareness here through that right hip. Let's guide that knee skyward once again. Release the left hand to the mat. Allow that right leg to float down. Now let's inhale the left leg in. Interlace those fingers. Embrace that shin. Pull the thigh towards the ribs. The knee towards the shoulder. Arms in close to the body. Shoulders relaxed down to the mat. Once again, we use the breath here with each exhalation. Perhaps we find a little more opening through those hips. All right, time to release that right arm out to the side from the shoulder. Open that hip to the left. Let's guide that knee back up towards the sky. Switch out those hands. Left arm reaches out to the side now. Let's bring that leg across the body. Let's let that knee come skyward once again. Bring the arms in close to the body. Bring both knees up. Stack them over the hips. Let's just arc those knees from right to left. One hip lifts, the other hip lifts. Just a little movement, nothing grand. Spread those arms out a little more. Deepen that arc. Spread those arms out a little more. Deepen that arc. Spread the arms out from the shoulders. Palms are down. Deepen that arc. Let's allow those hips to float over to the right. Come to rest on the mat. Gaze over the left shoulder if it feels right in this moment. Inhale, gaze skyward. Knees back up, stacked over the hips. Let's allow those hips to float over to the left. Gaze over that right shoulder. Inhale, gaze up. Knees up. Let's bring both knees into the chest. Wrap the arms around the shins. Continue to breathe. Release the arms from the shins. Allow them to float down either side of the body, palms down on the mat, and allow those feet to float back down to the mat. All right, bring those feet hip distance apart. Pull the heels in as close to the bum as you can. Bring the arms in close to the body. Perhaps even just bring the arms underneath the body, close to the spine. Plant those palms, root the fingertips into the earth, lift through the hips. Belly is reaching up. We're engaging through the thighs here. Perhaps even feeling just a gentle rotation of the thighs inward. Continue to breathe. With each inhalation, perhaps you find a little more lift here. If you like, you can release your palms from the mat, bring your hands together underneath the bum. Interlace the fingers, bring the heels of the palms together. Lift just a little bit more, continue to breathe. On our next exhale, we release the hands from underneath the bum. If you bound them underneath the bum, plant the palms, allow the hips to float down. All right, extend your legs out the length of the mat. Let's once again sweep those arms up beyond the crown of the head. And on our next inhale, we're going to raise ourselves up into a seated position. All right, we're still at the length of our mat. We're going to let the left leg stay stretched out front, making sure we find those sits bones. Bring the right leg in close to the body. Take that right foot across to the outside of the left thigh. We're sitting up nice and tall. We extend our heart forward. That allows us to sit up nice and tall and make sure those shoulders are away from the ears. Okay. So we're going to inhale the arms up over the head, and on the exhale, we're going to rotate to the right and take that left elbow to the outside of that right knee. Fingertips are reaching up. We bring that right hand back behind the bum, point those fingertips back, pressing away from the earth, sitting up nice and tall. Heart is rotating to the right. Gaze follows the heart. Continue to breathe nice and deep. Now, only if it feels natural in this moment, we can turn our gaze over that right shoulder. On our next inhale, we turn our heart forward, reach those arms up overhead, and let them float down to the earth. Now let's take a bend to this left leg. Bend that left leg. The entire length of the leg from hip to ankle, even the foot is embracing the earth. That right leg is still across. We're sitting up nice and tall, always. Let's inhale those arms up overhead. Exhale, reach those fingertips forward. Turn the palms up. So we're going to take the right hand and bring it underneath the left. Bring those hands up in front of the face. If it feels good in this moment, you can let the palms come together. Bring the thumbs right in front of your nose here. Pull the elbows down on your chest. So we're using these eagle arms to stretch out through the back and shoulders here. Continue to breathe. Inhale, reach up, let those hands float down to the side. Uncross those legs, stretch them out front. Let's shake them out, shake them out, shake them out. All right, so this time we're gonna let the right leg stay extended. Bring the left leg into the body. Let's take that foot over to the outside of that right thigh. Sit up nice and tall, heart extending forward, shoulders floating away. I'm going to continue to say that because that is so important. We want to make sure we aren't curving through that spine. All right, let's inhale the arms up overhead. On the exhale, we rotate to the left, bring that right elbow to the outside of the left knee, bring that left hand back behind, rotating our heart to the left side of the room. We're still extending through the crown here. Gaze follows the heart. And only if it feels right, turn that head over that left shoulder. So here's where I always think to remind you of the inconsistency, incongruity, whatever you want to call it in the human body, because where it feels natural to me on the other side to turn my head over that right shoulder, it doesn't so much here, so I don't. And anything to do with the cervical spine, otherwise known as the neck, you want to be very, very selective and cautious about it. The real work here is through the extension, through the center of the body. That's what we're aiming for. Continue to breathe, guys. On the inhale, we rotate our heart forward, we reach those arms up overhead, and we let them float down. All right, time to bend that right leg in. Find our grounding and our centering, sitting up nice and tall. Trying to make sure both sits bones are still in contact with the mat also. All right, let's inhale those arms up overhead. Exhale, reach those fingertips forward. Turn those palms up. This time we're gonna let the left arm come underneath the right. Bring those palms in front of the face. If the palms come together, you can do that. Pull those shoulders down. Just focus on the breath here for a moment, guys. On our next inhale, we release these arms, reach them up overhead, let them float down to the side. All right, extend those legs out once again. Shake them out, shake them out, shake them out, shake them out. Are you going to bring those soles of the feet to the earth? I'm going to turn lengthwise on my mat. You stay right there. Soles of the feet are embracing the earth. We lightly caress the outside of our thighs, just a gentle caress. Slowly lowering ourselves to the mat. Let's cross the right leg over the left, as if you're crossing your legs sitting in a chair. We're going to bring the legs towards the body. Bring your hands to grab your opposite feet. So the left hand grabs the right foot, right hand grabs the left foot. Pull the heels in close to the bum as we're still continuing to draw the thighs towards the chest. You should feel a tremendous activation through the hip of the right leg here. Try to pull those upper arms onto the mat. Shoulders stay embracing the mat. And release those feet. Extend both legs up towards the sky. So feet, knees, and thighs in alignment. And you're flexing the toes towards the crown of your head. Let's bend those knees and let the feet float back down to the mat. This time, let's cross the left over the right. Draw the legs in towards the body. And once again, grab those feet, pulling the heels towards the bum and drawing the thigh towards the chest. Let's release the hands, uncross those legs, extend the feet up towards the sky once again. Now bend the thighs in towards the chest. Release your hands from the earth. Bring your hands to the inside of your legs using your peace fingers, index finger, middle finger, and thumb. And just take a gentle hold on those big toes. Let's widen our knees towards our shoulders. Point the soles of our feet towards the sky and open up through those hips. Continue to breathe. Take advantage of all that space we just created for the belly here. Nice deep breaths. You can soften your gaze or close your eyes. We're coming towards the end of our practice. Let's explore those I am affirmations again. I am amazing. You can stay right here, or if you like to, you can extend those legs, pressing the soles of the feet upwards, extending those arms. Get a nice final little extension through the hamstrings here. Perhaps extending the thighs out, a little more extension through the adductor muscles of the inside of the thighs, also the hips. All right, guys, let's soften those knees. Bring the soles of the feet together in this floating bound angle. Gently caressing our ankles. Drawing the knees outwards. Let's release our hands from our ankles, allow our hands to float back down to the mat, and allow that bound ankle to float down as well. Allow the knees to fall open, keeping the soles of the feet together. Soften your gaze or close your eyes and just focus on the breath. If this feels comfortable to you, you can stay right here. Or if you like to, you can extend your legs out the length of your mat and let them just fall open. We're heading into our final relaxation, Shavasana. Just focus on the breath. Let's take this moment to thank ourselves for affording ourselves this time to breathe, reflect, and reconnect with ourselves. Let's commit to ourselves that no matter what rages around us today, we'll maintain this sense of peace and calm and grounding. When you're ready, let's roll over to one side. Perhaps scoot your bum to the opposite side so you can stay on your mat. Find a fetal position, using that bottom arm as a pillow. Now, using that top hand, let's guide ourselves up, back to where we started in Sukhasana, easy seated pose. Let our hands rest on our knees. Let those shoulders melt away from the ears. Let's inhale the arms up overhead above the crown, bringing the palms together. Exhale the hands to heart center. Namaste.